I really need to give the inside information on New York Comic Con 2017. I was there, and I had
And
kind
I
of.
was jealous.
Yeah, I'm sorry, brother. I mean, we only get so many tickets, so
Mhm,
many badges,
no.
so many passes, so many open doors and such. No, this one was good. They really did their best to compensate for the construction. Half the Javits Center, where they normally hold Comic Con, half of it was closed for construction. The whole area that's normally the artist alley, and where the extra independent vendors that also have their own content. Also where I'm at DMC, that whole area was shut down.
I like how you worked that in there.
This is the proudest moment. Yeah.
You know, I'm at DMC. You know, he was doing his thing. You know,
Darren McDaniels, hip hop legend. That's my favorite moment of any convention ever.
Yo, for I know this one sister who went to St. John's, and of course I started lying to her. I'm DMC, the place to be. I go to St. John's University, and she's like in her 20s, and she's here, and it's nothing but love for you, sister. I'm not gonna throw your name out there, but she was like, "How does everybody say that to me?" I'm like, it sucks for you, fam. I know all your whole 4 years, and for the rest of your life, people gonna run up to you and say that. Anybody above the age of 30 is gonna scream that to you, because that's the first thing I didn't know from a hold on. I was like, "Hey, my name is such as. Hey, where'd you go? I went to St. John's. I'm DMC." She just had this look like.
Watch her name be like Denise Mitchell Collins or something too. All right, but the Javits Center was half of it was closed for construction. They still did a good job of delegating people to different entrances and really keeping the foot traffic flowing on the inside, which is really tough to do because it's just been kind of a cluster F in past years, and you get tons of people just surrounding the place, and then it's flooded. And the only real detriment here, because they did that and they closed it off and they reallocated different parts to different places. Like the artist alley was right next to the main stage this time, which created a lot of, I won't say unnecessary foot traffic, but there was a lot more traffic around the main stage area. So if you were trying to wait to see, I don't know, Alan Tudyk, Nathan Fillion, those ones that usually are in the big stage, you may have had a harder time getting there. I actually had to direct a few people. Not that I looked official or anything, but just they were lost. They were just asking anybody, and I just happened to have just come from there.
So you was asked the black dude? That's who you were? You was asked a black dude?
Well, no. This was fair because they weren't asking like, "Excuse me, are you cosplaying Shaft?" It's like, "No, ma'am, I'm just a Negro." The way they had the food trucks set up too was really smart because in the past, for actual food, you've been dependent on either those grody ass hot dog carts and sausage carts and stuff and pretzel carts outside the place. Yeah, but it's like
sitting in that tub of like water that's been there that they don't dump out at the end of the day. You know they don't.
You know they don't. They just recycle the same nasty hot dog water.
The worst part of it is there's one vendor that's always there. He's been there every year, and everyone else cooks their food regular. This dude, and I thought it was just one time, one day, 1 year, but no, it's been consistently in the last, I think, like 4 or 5 years going, that his everything on his cart is always char burnt. And it's not that I'm eating the food and I don't enjoy the taste. It's the smell. You are outside, so there's wind that's blowing this stuff, and that whole street and half the Javits outside smells like just hard burnt everything, like burnt sausage, burnt steak, burnt hot dogs, burnt.
It's Cajun.
It's not Cajun. It's not Cajun. It's well blackened.
Darkness, everybody, darkness.
But I bring that up because what they've done now is they commissioned several food trucks. Usually you'd see 1 or 2. They had, I think, 6 in line, and they've placed them all in this nook area, which used to be the primary place for folks to do photo shoots. So your pros and your semi-pros would arrange photo shoots there with group shots and etc. It was a nice open area that was unoccupied and had less foot traffic, so they could have their photo shoots without blocking folks on the dealer floor and such, or in just the general hallways. So that was one like actual detriment to the people, but really worked out for everyone else, for just the casual con goers in the convention itself, because it gave another option for food. It helped out local businesses, and dude, I mean, when you can actually go outside and get a get a chicken and rice plate for admittedly an expensive like $8. versus the hyper expensive 16.
Yeah, inside the con, inside the convention type of food. Yeah, that stuff's way expensive.
Yeah, so having that option was actually really big. So a lot of people had complaints, but I still think it was a good thing. I still think it really worked out, and it shows that as much stuff as we've talked about them, because dude, I've talked massive amounts of stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
About the
logistics.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if it's still run by Repop. I'll do my research. And get back to y'all on that. But they've stepped it up. They've paid attention to a lot of the reports and a lot of the concerns that people had about the convention being the center being under construction during the convention, because that could have been a huge problem. And it ended up it was fairly okay in that respect. Now, as for content, dude, I thought stuff was dope. Like they had good previews, man. It wasn't just the same stuff over and over again. Now they had Walking Dead on the badges. Mm-hmm. They didn't have like 4 different Walking Dead panels arbitrarily. Mm-hmm. You know, they had like clever stuff. I'm sorry, you gonna say?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you when I went on and I read, and I get why. Yeah. But when they pulled the Punisher preview and panel, I was like, you know what? I don't even know anymore. And I was like, I was hoping that they was gonna put it back on just because the fans wanted it. We've been looking for it. And one of my soldiers went down there and said the same thing. Sir, I hope they do it. And I didn't get a chance to reach out to him and find out if they did. So I'm asking you, did they put the Punisher panel back on?
They did not. And brother, I will tell you, security was no nonsense.
Word.
Was no nonsense, zero tolerance this year. Like they were serious. To the point where they were holding up lines on the second day on Saturday, because everyone on Thursday, which used to be press day. This does kind of bug me. Press day used to be Thursday. We go in, we get our interviews done, we get our pictures and all that, and we can enjoy the con the rest of the weekend. Now everyone comes on Thursday, so it's hard to work. So you have to kind of space it out, and it becomes a little more difficult. But that's a.
Do you think it had anything to do with the stuff that happened on Monday?
In Vegas you're talking about.
In Vegas.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I was coming back around to.
I mean, that's the reason why they said they cut the Punisher preview in the panel because of Vegas.
Oh, okay.
And on Saturday lines were much longer because everyone who came with a cosplay that had a gun. And it didn't look blatantly like bright orange, bright green, blue.
It wasn't a super soaker.
Yeah, exactly. Anything that wasn't like that was getting confiscated. And the way they do these things are when they confiscate it, you may or may not get it back, depending on who takes it and depending on where they take it from and depending on what it actually is. Now, I will say I am all for this when you get people like this one dumbass who ended up being right behind me and my friend Kato, who was there.
So you made out, bro. He wasn't right in front of you.
No, because what they do is they send you through, and then your bag's got to come through. So they stopped the conveyor belt the second this dude tried to go through with freaking airsoft pistols, like legit airsoft. So it's not lethal, but you can still like hurt people if they're loaded, and he's just start popping off. And he just tried to, and they weren't painted or anything. They were just freaking airsoft pistols. Like, well, it's part of my cosplay. It's like, but you're bringing freaking guns into a convention with people.
Man.
So it all. I mean, okay, the responsibility has to also lie on the con goers. People use common sense with your cosplays, and cosplaying is a wonderful thing. I'm supremely happy to be a part of this community and be able to do this and dress up like my favorite characters. I did Static Shock this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I did Static Shock and got the new green. I got the new GL ring, so I did. Yeah.
I'm jealous that you don't have Batman on there, but it's alright though.
Batman on the Green Lantern ring? Come on, brother.
No, you had the Batman ring on forever. You just casted away Batman.
No, I still have it. What you don't get rid of these things.
It ain't here now. I'm just saying. I don't see Batman here.
Okay, see now the thing is you're forcing the hate. That's what's wrong with this now. All right, but no, I appreciate that security was very serious. Normally I'd have complaints like, you're going overboard. You're doing some dumbness and things, but they were very strict this year, but they were also very efficient. So we waited an extra couple minutes. Versus at like PAX a couple years ago where we ended up waiting like 3 hours, 3+ hours, So I mean, I'll applaud them on this because they had a nice little collection of everything. Some guns that were obviously fake, but they had the proper shape and stuff. It's like yes, it looks like a real gun, it looks like a real AK, except it's this big. So probably not, the lethal weapon it may resemble, but the detail was enough for what, we can't make exceptions. So it's like, all right. So I will say that they were on their job.
So out of all the stuff you saw, what are you most excited about?
dude, we got to see using my press credentials and getting in. We got to see preview the first episode of the new season of Archer.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yo, huge changes are happening.
What?
You have no idea what you about to, like the changes you about to get into.
What kind of way? We're talking like production. We're talking audio, visual. We're talking story.
Character stories.
I'm talking character stories.
No, don't tell me somebody dies off or something like that.
Brother, right? no spoilers.
Okay.
But I will say, characters go through massive changes.
We're not talking like Dragon Ball GT Goku stuff, are we? Because that was terrible changes.
Yeah. Okay. As extreme as you may be thinking, and not the Dragon Ball, you goofball over there. As extreme as you might be thinking for changes, when you actually see it, you realize you couldn't even like fathom getting in the ballpark of what they actually do. But you know what? It was funny. Mm-hmm. It was funny. I think that's the most important thing. I'm really jazzed about this new season.
And everybody was there, right? Because I saw one of my buddies put a clip of Aisha Tyler running on stage or whatever. And she just like ran through.
I love her. She is a gem, man. She was okay. Walters and Jen Walters and H. John Benjamin weren't there.
Oh, we're not.
They were not there. No. Okay. But you know what?
Is that because he was on a Bob's Burger panel?
No, he didn't make it out the. Maybe he did. If he did, I missed him. Mm-hmm. But he didn't make it to the Archer panel. I was a little bummed about that. I wanted to see this because he's one of these dudes that I've been following just because I liked his work since he was essentially nobody.
Yep.
And now he's like the go-to guy when it comes to like these random voice characters. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, I knew you when you were nothing, and now you're somebody. Yeah, it's like if you for no reason followed George Clooney back when he was on Roseanne. You know, and now he's freaking
He was
George
on
Clooney.
Roseanne?
Exactly.
What?
Exactly. Yes.
I didn't even know George Clooney was on Roseanne either.
Yeah, he was her boss at the factory in the early episodes.
I just know that schmuck that's on what's that with the show with Friends with Nerds? What is
Bam,
it?
Bam.
Bazinga or whatever.
Bazinga, thank you.
Whatever the name of that show was. I'm drawing a blank right now.
How I Ruined Your Franchise.
Ooh.
No,
he was like DJ. He was like
you're talking about Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, Big Bang Theory, and he was the Darlene's boyfriend or whatever. That's all I remember. It was like he was Darlene's boyfriend.
Well, the only thing I won't hate on Big Bang Theory for, because that's just like that's lampooning. That's the coonery of nerdism right there, which is a damn shame.
Really
but I will say they brought back Mayim Bialik. Where everyone was just like, why she ain't working no more? Mayim Bialik was Blossom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And she stopped acting. Well, quit acting in Hollywood essentially to get her degree.
Yep,
she is a I think I won't say microbiology. It's not microbiology. It's like astrophysics. She's a physicist, or she's a scientist. I don't remember the exact principle, which is where I'm failing myself now. But she has a doctorate. They brought her back not only to act, but to be a consultant on the science they messed.
Oh, you stopped me in my tracks. I was say, I guess that degree ain't paying off. She acted. But, you say she's a consultant.
Yeah,
I eat those words.
Yeah, she's the one that checks their science and makes sure they're not just like spouting BS.
That is awesome.
Yeah, everything else is BS. Mm-hmm. Dude, I had so much fun at this, and I didn't expect to because naturally this is work for us.
Yeah, of course.
Like we enjoy going to a couple of cons. When you go to like all of them or as many as possible,
it gets draining because it's part of
And I was lucky enough to meet up with some friends who were kind of in the same boat. But together we like introduced each other to different stuff because I see like similar stuff every year. Mick sees similar stuff every year, and we have different realms. So when we do these reports together, then we give the audience a taste of different stuff. But when we're there in person, we kind of just do our own thing. When I was there with my friends, one of which, if anyone who's a long time listener of the Geek Down will remember, our former correspondent and just all around awesome person, Emily Hecht. Emily, shout out to Emily. I hope she's listening. Probably not. Emily was doing amazing things and left us to continue her career in New York. She is now working for Valiant Comics. Yeah, for Valiant Comics, it was manning their booth and was also working part-time for Marvel artist Sean Murphy.
Nice.
Yeah, and dude, she was somebody there. She had juice in a clipboard.
Nice. You got a clipboard. You somebody.
So Emily's doing big things. Very proud of her. But it was good to see her, good to catch her a bit, and also roam the floor a little. And doing that also with my good friend Kato. Shout out to Kato too, who I think it was her first convention or her first big convention.
Nice.
And dude, helped to come out. It had this awesome Domino costume. It's actually up on Instagram right now. You can check us out on Instagram and see our cosplay photos at the Geek Down on Instagram. So hopefully check that out, dude. I had an awesome time. Besides Archer, I will highly recommend Ash vs. Evil. Dude, it was just a damn good time. This is
awesome.
Yeah, we got to see dude, Bruce Campbell. I was almost in high-fiving distance to Bruce Campbell.
Nice.
You know, the press seats were still a little a little bit away from the stage, but we were still right up there. Like if he had a little bit of phlegm and he cleared his throat and some spittle launched into the audience, it probably would have landed on me. Yeah, that's how close I was. And unfortunately, we couldn't get like the press opportunity right there because they all had to book it right after. But the new season of Ash vs. Evil is looking good. Dude, I am jazzed. They had a lot of good stuff, a lot of fun stuff there. We'll have a full report written up by Mix Macabre on the site, hopefully by tomorrow. And I mean, dude, this one was thumbs up. This one was surprisingly thumbs up because New York Comic Con has had its problems in the past, and it really seems like they're learning from their mistakes, and they're also paying attention to the con-goer feedback, which actually gives me hope for next year's Comic-Con. So NYCC, do proper thumbs up, and I applaud you for stepping it up this year.
And that's awesome, man, because all the people that I know who hit up cons constantly, they just do it as fun. They don't do it for work like we do. They all spoke very highly of this one. Yeah. They were just like, yo, you missed something special.
Yes. You know what you missed? Man. You missed Tick Danger Boat. Danger Boat is a new villain on the live action Tick on Amazon, the Tick. And they built out a full-on like boat, like it looked like that boat in that Hulk Hogan, bad Sunday afternoon TV show. They built this out, and you could go in, you could take pictures. They had a whole thing you could do. And what was dope about it is I realized after the fact that you can go in and play with the consoles, and they hired an actor to be the voice of the boat. He's just commenting on different folks. You give him your name as you come in, and he's just shouting you out. And not just shouting you out, but he's like cracking on folks. Yeah. He's like, why'd you wear flip-flops to a con? Stuff like that. And that was cool. And then as you go through, you can flip switches and interact with their screens and stuff, and you can fabricate your own superheroes. You get a little printed out ID badge. I got that. And I realized at the end, like what they do is you're working your way to this room where you make a little animation for your villain, and it's you posing on the spinning turntable they have there, and it makes like a GIF animation for them to put on their website.
I've seen a lot of those.
Yeah, and you're that villain. What I didn't realize was they're slick with it because as you're going around the inside playing at the consoles, you're just waiting in line, right? And it's just a clever way of waiting in line. And while you're waiting in line, you're hitting these switches and stuff, and it just feels powerful. I'm up here like I'm in an actual submarine. I'm hitting switches and things, and it feels good. And then when I get to the touchscreens and I'm making up my superhero, I'm just giving them my email information so they can send me like their newsletters and stuff. The whole thing was genius, but you know what? I didn't care. It was good. And then they had one joystick where you press the button and it fires missiles on the screen. And I'm just like, I'm bombing North Korea. Take this. Kim Jong. Up yours, Kim Jong. Man, it was fun. And then I got the little animation. They gave me a poncho at the end. It was all right. So yeah, that was one of the things that made this year's New York Comic Con a thumbs up. But now I'm gonna kick it over to Just Johnny.
I can't wait for you to tell me what the deal is, Johnny.
Yes, sir.
Just to the point